Atari's first venture was the creation of a coin-operated arcade game called Computer Space in 1971. Designed by Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney while they were still working at another company, Computer Space was the first commercially available video game. However, it did not achieve significant commercial success. Following the lukewarm response to Computer Space, Atari set out to create a more accessible and engaging game. This led to the development of Pong, a simple table tennis simulation. Pong was released as an arcade game in 1972 and became an instant hit. It was the first commercially successful video game and helped establish Atari as a major player in the industry. Pong's success led to the creation of home console versions of the game. Atari released the home Pong console in 1975, which allowed players to enjoy Pong in the comfort of their own homes. The home Pong console was a significant success and helped popularize the concept of home video gaming. Building on the success of Pong, Atari continued to release a series of successful arcade games throughout the 1970s. Games like Breakout, Asteroids, and Centipede became iconic titles and further solidified Atari's position as a leading player in the arcade game market. In 1976, Atari was acquired by Warner Communications, a major media conglomerate at the time. This acquisition provided Atari with the financial resources and distribution channels needed to expand its operations and reach a wider audience. Under Warner's ownership, Atari continued to innovate and release successful games. In 1977, Atari introduced the Atari 2600, also known as the Atari VCS. The Atari 2600 was a groundbreaking console that allowed players to enjoy arcade-like gaming experiences in their own homes. It featured interchangeable game cartridges, which allowed for a wide variety of games to be played on a single console. The Atari 2600 became a massive success and became the best-selling console of its time. It introduced popular game franchises like Space Invaders, Pac-Man, and Pitfall, which became cultural phenomena and helped drive the console's popularity. Atari's early success with Pong and the Atari 2600 laid the foundation for the company to dominate the video game industry. Unfortunately, that didn't quite happen, and Atari would start to fail. Atari's failure can be attributed to a combination of factors, including poor decision-making, market saturation, and increased competition. One of the main reasons for Atari's downfall was its poor business decisions. The company made critical mistakes such as overproducing game cartridges, leading to an oversaturated market and a surplus of unsold inventory. Additionally, Atari's decision to license popular arcade games, without ensuring their quality on the home console, resulted in disappointing and poorly received games. These missteps led to financial losses and a decline in consumer trust. Another factor was Atari's poor management and decision-making. The company made several costly mistakes, such as the release of the Atari 2600's poorly received Pac-Man game, which was rushed to market and failed to meet expectations. Additionally, Atari's over-reliance on licensing deals, such as the ill-fated E.T. the Extraterrestrial game, led to financial losses and damaged the company's reputation. Market saturation also played a significant role in Atari's failure. The success of the Atari 2600 console led to a flood of low-quality games from third-party developers, saturating the market with subpar products. This oversaturation eroded consumer interest and confidence in Atari's offerings, as consumers became wary of purchasing new games due to the lack of quality control. As a result, sales and revenue declined for Atari. The rise of competitors, particularly Nintendo, further contributed to Atari's downfall. Nintendo's release of the NES in 1985 revolutionized the industry with its superior graphics, sound, and quality control. Atari struggled to keep up with the NES's success and failed to release a competitive console, losing market share to its rivals. Financial troubles and mismanagement also played a role in Atari's failure. The company's parent company, Warner Communications, faced financial difficulties and sold off Atari in 1984. This change in ownership led to instability and a lack of effective management, hindering Atari's ability to make strategic decisions and recover from its decline. In conclusion, Atari's failure can be attributed to poor decision-making, market saturation, increased competition, and financial troubles. These factors collectively led to a decline in sales, loss of consumer confidence, and the eventual downfall of the once prominent video game company. Atari would try to regain its place on the throne with a new console called the Atari Jaguar. The Atari Jaguar, released in 1993, is often considered a commercial failure. Several factors contributed to its lack of success. 1. Lack of third-party support. The Jaguar struggled to attract third-party developers and publishers to create games for the console. Many developers were hesitant to invest in the Jaguar due to its complex hardware architecture and limited market share compared to competitors like the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. As a result, the Jaguar had a relatively small library of games, which limited its appeal to consumers. 2. Ineffective marketing. Atari's marketing efforts for the Jaguar were not as successful as they had been for previous consoles. The company failed to effectively communicate the unique selling points of the Jaguar and differentiate it from its competitors. The marketing campaigns lacked clarity and failed to generate significant consumer interest or excitement. 3. High price point. The Jaguar was initially priced at $249, making it more expensive than its competitors. This high price point, combined with the lack of a compelling game library, made it a less attractive option for consumers. The price was later reduced, but by then, the damage had already been done, and the console struggled to recover. 4. Limited software library. While the Jaguar had a few standout titles like Alien vs Predator and Tempest 2000, the overall quality and quantity of games for the console were lacking. The limited third-party support meant that many popular games were not available on the Jaguar, further diminishing its appeal to consumers. 5. Technical challenges. The Jaguar's hardware architecture, which featured multiple processors, was complex and difficult to develop games for. This complexity made it challenging for developers to optimize their games, and resulted in a lack of visually impressive and innovative titles. The console's performance also fell short of expectations, with some games suffering from technical issues and subpar graphics. 6. Timing and market saturation. The Jaguar was released at a time when the market was becoming saturated with competing consoles and handheld gaming devices. The Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and later the Sony PlayStation and Sega Saturn were already established players in the market, making it difficult for the Jaguar to gain a significant market share. Overall, a combination of factors, including limited third-party support, ineffective marketing, high price, technical challenges, and market saturation, contributed to the failure of the Atari Jaguar. Despite its innovative hardware and potential, the console was unable to compete effectively and ultimately struggled to find a place in the highly competitive gaming industry. After the Atari Jaguar failed, Atari faced significant financial difficulties and eventually filed for bankruptcy in 1996. The failure of the Jaguar marked the end of Atari's presence in the home console market. However, the brand continued to exist and shifted its focus towards software development and licensing its intellectual properties. In the late 90s, Atari went through a series of changes and challenges. After filing for bankruptcy in 1996, the company was acquired by a company called JTS Corporation. JTS primarily focused on computer hard drives and attempted to revive the Atari brand by releasing the Atari Jaguar CD add-on. However, this effort was unsuccessful, and JTS eventually sold off the Atari assets to Hasbro Interactive in 1998. Under Hasbro's ownership, Atari continued to release games for various platforms, including the PC and consoles. They also acquired the rights to several classic Atari games and released compilations for different systems. However, Hasbro Interactive faced financial difficulties of its own and decided to sell off its interactive division, including Atari, in 2000. Atari then went through a series of ownership changes and reorganizations. It was acquired by Infogrames Entertainment, a French video game company, in 2001. Infogrames eventually changed its name to Atari SA in 2003, effectively bringing back the Atari name. During this period, Atari focused on publishing and distributing games for various platforms, including consoles, handhelds, and mobile devices. They also licensed their intellectual properties for use in other media, such as movies and merchandise. During this time, Atari released several notable games, including Enter the Matrix and Rollercoaster Tycoon. They also acquired the rights to popular franchises like Driver and Test Drive, and continued to release new installments in these series. However, Atari faced financial difficulties and struggled to compete with other major players in the industry. In 2008, the company announced significant layoffs and a shift in focus towards digital distribution and online gaming. They also began licensing their intellectual properties for use in mobile games and other media. In subsequent years, Atari continued to face financial challenges and underwent further restructuring. They sold off some of their assets and focused on digital distribution platforms like Steam and mobile app stores. Atari also explored ventures in social gaming and online casinos. In the 2010s, Atari continued to face challenges and underwent further changes in its business strategy. The company focused on digital distribution and mobile gaming, releasing a variety of games for smartphones and tablets. They also explored the free-to-play model and online multiplayer games. Atari made efforts to leverage their classic intellectual properties, such as Pong and Centipede, by releasing updated versions and spin-offs for modern platforms. They also licensed their brands for use in merchandise and collaborations with other companies. In 2013, Atari filed for bankruptcy protection in the United States as part of a strategic move to separate from its French parent company, Atari SA. This allowed Atari to restructure its debt and seek potential buyers or investors. Following the bankruptcy filing, Atari focused on licensing its intellectual properties and partnering with other companies to develop and publish games. They also explored opportunities in virtual reality and augmented reality gaming. In recent years, Atari has made efforts to re-enter the hardware market with the release of the Atari VCS, a modernized version of their classic console. The Atari VCS aims to provide a mix of classic gaming experiences and modern multimedia capabilities. However, the release of the console faced delays and has yet to achieve widespread success. Overall, Atari's presence in the gaming industry in the 2010s has been relatively modest compared to its earlier years of success. The company has faced challenges in adapting to the rapidly evolving gaming landscape and has struggled to regain its former prominence. Atari's decision to venture into the hotel industry was driven by their desire to expand their brand beyond gaming and into the realm of immersive entertainment experiences. The idea behind Atari Hotels was to create themed hotels that would cater to gamers and fans of the Atari brand, offering unique and interactive experiences. The concept of Atari Hotels involved incorporating gaming-themed decor, virtual reality experiences, esports arenas, and other gaming-related amenities. The goal was to create a destination that would appeal to gamers and provide a one-of-a-kind stay. However, as of now, Atari has not successfully launched any Atari Hotels. The reasons for this could be attributed to various factors, including financial constraints, difficulties in securing suitable locations, and challenges in navigating the hospitality industry. It is also possible that the COVID-19 pandemic may have impacted their plans and delayed the development and opening of Atari Hotels. While Atari has expressed their intention to move forward with the Atari Hotels project, the specific reasons for the delay or lack of progress in launching these hotels are not publicly known. It remains to be seen if and when Atari will successfully enter the hotel industry with their gaming-themed accommodations. The future of Atari is uncertain, but the company has shown a commitment to staying relevant in the gaming industry. Here are a few potential directions Atari may take. 1. Continued focus on the Atari VCS. Atari's modern console, the Atari VCS, could be a key component of their future plans. They may invest in improving and expanding the console's capabilities, as well as securing a strong lineup of games to attract players. 2. Expansion into new gaming experiences. Atari may explore opportunities in emerging technologies such as virtual reality, augmented reality, and cloud gaming. By embracing these technologies, Atari could create unique and immersive gaming experiences for players. 3. Licensing and partnerships. Atari has a rich library of iconic intellectual properties. They may continue to license their brands for use in various media, collaborate with other companies for game development, or explore partnerships to expand their reach and appeal. 4. Mobile gaming and digital distribution. Atari has already made strides in the mobile gaming space. They may continue to release games for smartphones and tablets, while also exploring digital distribution platforms to reach a wider audience. 5. Nostalgia-driven initiatives. Atari has a strong nostalgic appeal, and they may continue to capitalize on this by releasing remastered versions of classic games, creating retro-themed merchandise, or even exploring opportunities in the retro console market. Ultimately, Atari's future will depend on their ability to adapt to changing market trends, embrace new technologies, and deliver compelling gaming experiences that resonate with players.